Nintendo's mini direct in January disappointed many due to high expectations. This disappointment made a lot of YouTubers, including myself, look silly for generating hype that Nintendo couldn't possibly live up to in the first month of the year. But I knew deep down in my ass that Nintendo would deliver eventually, and after the March direct, I'm gonna say I told you so to all the naysayers, cause 2018's in fact shaping up to be glorious. My name's Cameron, reporting from Osaka, Japan, and I'll tell you why. Before I talk about the Direct, I'm gonna pat myself on the ass a little bit for not only being right about how the Switch's 2018 was gonna be glorious, but also about how the 3DS wasn't quite dead yet. Although I am an ass hair surprised to see new games being made by Nintendo, even though most of them are just ports with the exception of Wario Ware Gold, which I'm actually pretty excited for. I've always loved the WarioWare games, they utilize Nintendo's gimmicks properly, but before you pee on me in the comments, gimmicks aren't necessarily a bad thing when done right. And these games do them perfectly. I'm sure a WarioWare game's gonna come to the Switch eventually since there's new gimmicks to be had, but they're not the same gimmicks as the 3DS. And I'm sure the development team felt the need to send the 3DS off with one last hurrah, seeing as how the 3DS is on life support and the Switch doesn't have a microphone or anything like that. Either that or they've just been working on this game for a really long time and wanted to finish it up. I mean, it is the biggest WarioWare game to date, so I'm guessing it took a long time to develop. Regardless though, my dumbass is excited for it. Besides that though, most of what the 3DS has to offer for 2018 are just ports. But I am surprised it's getting Luigi's Mansion instead of the Switch. Or at least that the Switch isn't also getting it. I mean, after all, Treasure Tracker is gonna be on both systems. I'm sure N-Dog has something special planned for GameCube games on the Switch though. This just tells me that Nintendo has faith in Luigi's Mansion though, and I've got my peen crossed that they're working on a third game. As far as the Switch goes though, Nintendo just pooped awesomeness all over our chests. I know they put Okami HD out on everything at this point, but the Switch is perfect for this type of game both in handheld and dock modes. It sucks Capcom's only releasing it digitally, but at least they're not selling a physical copy with like 5% of the game on the actual cartridge. I prefer physical when done right, but I'd rather a company just go digital completely if they're gonna bullshit their physical releases by making us download most of the game anyway, which Capcom's been notorious for lately. So just let it be digital. Maybe limited run games will help us out in the future. We saw new stuff from Kirby, and unlike Shane's silly ass, I look forward to this game. But the DLC characters they showed off looked ready to go now, so why make us wait to download them? Oh well, I think it's free anyway, so good on you, Nintendo, for keeping DLC as a bonus rather than being mandatory. But I don't really plan on talking too much about games we already knew about, so I'm not really gonna get too into Dark Souls, but I have thought for a while now that third-party games need their own exclusive amiibos, because it'd be great for fans, and it'd make more money for the developers, making the Switch more enticing, so it's really a win-win for everybody. And just like Shane's goofy ass predicted, the Crash Nsane Trilogy is making its way to the Switch, which I'm pretty psyched about since for some reason I didn't end up getting it on the PS4. And even though I did play South Park on the PS4, it's still great that it's coming to the Switch. And it was also pretty funny hearing the Fractured But Whole being said in a Nintendo Direct. But as far as Nintendo-made games go for the first half of 2018, Splatoon 2 is becoming more and more like a true sequel rather than Splatoon 1.5. There's an assload of new updates coming, plus a paid single-player DLC. At first, I thought it was kinda lame to have a real single-player campaign being added as paid DLC, but everybody buys Splatoon so they can play online with their friends. For the main event of this Direct, though, they announced a new game and showed more Splatoon footage to try to throw people off, but Nintendo can't fool me. When I spent the night at Reggie-san's house the other day, I checked his drawers, so I was already aware that a new Smash Bros. Game was coming out in 2018. In my recent video where I stated Nintendo would be silly not to do this, a lot of people were unhappy at the idea since they thought for some reason it would kill Sakurai to do it. One guy even told me to kill myself for suggesting it, but when Sakurai said he was done with Smash Bros, it was like 5 minutes after he finished making Smash 4. Not to mention that game was really 2 games being made at the same time, so of course the guy's gonna be stressed out and not want to have anything to do with it. And I know the Direct didn't necessarily say that the Smash game would be a new one, but if they tease us that hard and then reveal it's just a port at E3, people are gonna be saltier than my neighbor Terry's ass crack. I don't see why people thought this was so unreasonable though. I mean, they were updating Smash 4 for a while, so obviously Sakurai couldn't have been that stressed. Plus Melee, which everybody swears their lives on being the best game in the series, only took like 2 years to make. And all Smash 5 really needs is an updated roster, stages, and maybe a subspace mode being brought back for some extra points. Plus, the physics are fine in Smash 4 and don't really need a lot of tweaking. So why wouldn't Nintendo want to do the coolest thing they possibly could if they're capable of it? With the exception of the Smash reveal/tease, most of these games are coming out in the first half of the year, and I think the Switch's lineup's pretty loaded as it is. Obviously, there's probably some big guns being saved for the holiday season, and I'm sure we'll hear more about that in June, but so far, 2018 is in fact shaping up to be rather glorious glorious and might even top 2017, because I'm sure we're gonna get at least one surprise for June as well as more details on Smash. What do you think about the March Direct though? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, I'll pin whatever I find most entertaining. Also, I've been in Japan for less than a day now, so pardon the absence of rude animations and editing. There's a new video with all that going up tomorrow morning though. In the meantime, don't forget to like and share this video if you want to help this channel grow. Consider supporting us on Patreon, and if you're a super sexy boy or girl, then go ahead and press that subscribe button if you haven't already. My name's Cameron, and I'll see you next time.
So I want to say thank you to your loyalty, thank you for your support.